Hello, little dreamers. Welcome to our story time. Today, we're going on an adventure high up in the treetops. Have you ever heard the song Rockabye, Baby, on the Treetop? Well, let's imagine a story about that brave little baby and their cozy cradle. Once upon a time, in a big, green forest filled with chirping birds and rustling leaves, there lived a tiny baby who loved adventures. This wasn't just any baby. This baby loved to be rocked to sleep by the gentle sway of the tallest oak tree in the whole forest. Their cradle wasn't made of wood or gold. Oh no. It was much more special. It was woven from strong, green vines, lined with the softest moss, and decorated with bright, colorful wild flowers. The squirrels had gathered the softest fluff for a pillow, and the spiders had spun a light, silvery blanket that sparkled in the sunlight. It was the coziest cradle in the world. Every afternoon, Mama would carefully place the baby in the cradle and tie it to a sturdy, leafy branch. "Rockabye, my little one," she would sing softly. The cradle would begin to rock, back and forth, guided by the gentle hand of the wind. The baby would giggle, watching the world from high above. Down below, fuzzy bunnies hopped through the clovers, and a family of deer would often stop for a drink at the nearby stream. The baby could see everything. The little birds would fly by and chirp a sweet hello, and the butterflies would dance around the cradle, painting the air with their colorful wings. The wind was the baby's best friend. When the sun was too bright, the wind would whisper to the leaves, and they would rustle together to create a perfect, dappled shade. When the baby felt a little warm, the wind would blow a cool, refreshing breeze, making the baby sigh with happiness. The wind loved its job, gently rocking the cradle, making sure the baby was always comfortable and safe. One sunny afternoon, the wind decided to play a little game. Whoosh! It blew, a little stronger than usual. The cradle swayed a bit higher. The baby giggled, thinking it was a fun new ride. Whoosh! Whoosh! Went the wind, playing peekaboo through the leaves. The cradle rocked and rolled like a little boat on a gentle sea. The squirrels chattered excitedly from a nearby branch, watching the fun. But then, the wind got a little too playful. Whoo-whoosh! It huffed and it puffed with a mighty gust. The branch, which had been so strong and steady, began to creak and groan. The cradle swung higher and higher. The little birds stopped their singing and watched with wide eyes. The bunnies stopped hopping and pricked up their ears. The baby wasn't giggling anymore. The world was spinning too fast. "Oh dear," whispered a wise old owl, who was watching from his hole in the tree trunk. "The wind is forgetting its own strength." And then it happened. With one final, mighty gust, the wind blew so hard that the sturdy branch gave a loud crack. The branch broke. Down, down, down fell the cradle with the baby inside. But don't you worry. The forest was ready. The wind, realizing its mistake, quickly softened its blow. It swirled gently underneath the cradle, slowing its fall, turning the scary drop into a soft, slow float. It was like the cradle was a fluffy feather drifting down from the sky below. The other forest animals sprang into action. A team of strong squirrels scurried down the tree trunk. A group of fluffy bunnies gathered together, creating a soft, bouncy landing pad. The deer stood nearby, ready to help. The cradle landed with a gentle thump right in the middle of the softest patch of moss you have ever seen, right on top of the waiting bunnies. The baby blinked, looked around, and let out a happy gurgle. The fall hadn't been scary at all. It had been a slow, gentle ride. Mama, who had been watching from below, rushed over. She scooped the baby out of the cradle and held him close. "Oh, my brave little adventurer," she said, kissing the baby's tiny nose. The wind whispered a soft apology through the leaves, swooshes sorry. The squirrels chattered. The bunnies wiggled their noses, and the wise old owl hooted softly, "All's well that ends well." From that day on, the cradle was tied to a lower, even stronger branch. The wind still came to play, but it was always extra gentle. It had learned a very important lesson. It's good to be strong, but it's even better to be gentle and kind, especially with your smallest friends. And as the sun began to set, casting long, golden shadows through the forest, Mama rocked the baby in her arms. The baby, tired from the big adventure, closed his eyes. He dreamt of floating on fluffy clouds, dancing with butterflies, and being rocked to sleep by his best friend, the gentle, whispering wind. And they all lived happily and safely ever after. The end. Thank you so much for joining our story time today. Wasn't that a fun adventure? If you enjoyed our story, please give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more wonderful tales. We can't wait to see you again for our next story. Bye-bye for now.